Chris, you just gave us a little bit of a brief description, but really, what is the Community Advantage Office do in the SBA?
The Community Advantage Office, or the Office of Economic Opportunity, is really kind of the day one entrepreneur education capital union. It's where we put those two things together, and we really do work with day one startup businesses and existing businesses, and we can do loans as small through our partners as $50 and go all the way up to $250,000. We work through intermediary partners. So these partners are different. When you wanted to start a business, what's the first thing you thought of?
Bank.
The bank, exactly. Well, we're a little bit different. We work with nonprofit lenders. I know that sounds crazy, but like a bank, when they make a profit, their shareholders are their community, and they reinvest back into the community those monies. And they do that through lending, through micro-lending, which again is loans from as small as $50 to $50,000. And then they move on to Community Advantage, which for people that have looked about business financing with the SBA, Community Advantage is a kind of a hybrid 7A lending product, which is really just us providing a guarantee to a lender. 7A provides a guarantee to banks, and it's a huge program. It's our flagship program. It's our #1 program.
So go through the process of a 7A hybrid and what the differences are with a mission lender versus 7A with a bank.
Well, the first thing that you're going to probably find out is the mission lender is going to spend a lot more time with you. They're going to ask you questions and analyze your business, your operation, your business plan if you're a startup, and they're going to see where there are gaps. And then they're going to offer and provide entrepreneurial education, or what we call technical assistance. And they're going to work you through the loan process. And sometimes on that assessment, it can be just as fast as a bank. But what they want to try to never say is no. But they might say you need to work on a little bit more and come back tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And they will be a person that will work with you. Sometimes they have turned loans around as quick as 6 weeks. And sometimes they've worked with borrowers for as long as 2.5 years. It depends upon, again, the structure and type of your loan. Some can be done very quickly, just about a week or a little bit longer.
So to shorten that process, what would you advise and by the way, is this just for veteran-owned and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses?
It is a priority for mission lenders to help out our veterans, and as we all want to say, thank you for your service. But it is a top priority. It is available to everyone, spouses of veterans, but it is open to everybody can look up and find a mission lender. One of the best ways to do that is on SBA.gov. Look up Lender Match, which is a great way for you to get in contact with a lender in your area that specializes in the type of business you're going to want to do. Just like you go to a doctor, you wouldn't want to go to a podiatrist for brain surgery. You don't want to necessarily go to a very large bank that deals in industrial lending to start a community flower shop. So just like medicine, banking and lending has their specialty areas.
So you hit the Lender Match button, and what happens then?
Lender Match opens up, and you're going to answer about 18 different questions, almost like a little bit like a dating service. So we're going to get to know you, and then that's going to go out through our network. And ideally, we're going to try to find somebody in your location. So you got to give us your zip code at least, so we can geolocate and try to find somebody in your area to be there for you in person. We do have national lenders, and they can take advantage of technology, but fundamentally, especially in small business lending, there's something about being face-to-face that leads to success with our lending.
Okay, and you could say the same for the bank, and when we make that comparison again, on a 7A with a bank, who's backing who, how much percentage-wise generally in terms of an SBA 7A loan, and the same question with the mission lenders that you work with?
A 7A loan can go as high as $5 million, and we would back that, offer a guarantee. 75%. Depending upon your loan structure, we can go as high as 90% on a guarantee, depending upon the type of business and how much money you're borrowing.
And that's for the 7A bank.
That's for the 7A banks.
Right.
Community Advantage, we only go up to 250,000 currently. So 250,000 is our maximum, and our guarantee fee there ranges begin between 90 and 75%, depending upon how much money you borrow and the type of business and structure you do. But one of the things that both 7A and Community Advantage do is we do offer reduced fees to veterans.
Okay.
And that is specific for veterans.
So I've hit my lender match, I found a lender. What happens next in the process?
That lender is going to reach out to you and start courting you.
So you start having communications with them.
You start communicating.
And what's happening, what part does the Community Advantage office play in that process?
Well, we're primarily just really in the background. You know, we allow our partners, our banks and our intermediaries, they're the experts.
Right.
That's one of the things we have learned. So one of the best things we can do is we educate our partners the best we can within our parameters and our goals. And then the best thing we do is we get out of the way and we let local business flourish. Local banking, local lending, local business. And we just stay out of the way.
Okay. So the money, follow the money. So everything gets approved, and I still want to go through a little more detail of that process, but who gives the money to who and who backs who, and what are the general terms in terms of length of time that these loans are given for?
Well, again, with Community Advantage, the hybrid 7A product, the terms could range. Our average Community Advantage loan right now is almost 4 years. It's a little bit under 4 years. The average loan size is about 133,000, even though it can go up to 250,000. The organization, in this case, our mission lender, is putting up the money.
They put up the money.
We're only there if something goes south. And then we say, okay, you made a $100,000 loan. Day one it failed for whatever reason. And we gave you, in this case, 85% guarantee. We give you an $85,000 backing, money, refund, for taking the risk on this loan that normally would not be done in normal banking channels. Because keep in mind, our goal is not to compete with what's already out in the industry. Our goal is to be there to supplement areas that just might need a little bit more help.
So because it's the education mission that they have, you would say that you'd probably have a better chance with a Community Advantage situation as a startup or as an inexperienced business than you would with a conventional 7A bank.
Depending upon the structure, that could be true. The one thing you're going to have as an advantage with Community Advantage is if you have time, your chances go up immensely because they're going to work with you. They have a variety of education programs that they have available for you before you ever get the loan to help you increase your chance of success. They have other educational programs while you have the loan, while the business is opening, and while you're encountering the market. Because the one thing every veteran knows, stuff happens. And we're keeping this Disney here, I guess. So stuff happens. So they have the education program available to address those issues, whether they're an HR issue, whether it's a disaster issue. They will be able to facilitate your better chance of success. And the most incredible thing about them is even after you pay the loan off, they're still there for you as an educational resource.
And do you ever see additional loans get paid off from the same source?
Oh yeah, it's pretty incredible. Not only do we see loans paid off, but they go back. Very often, a lot of people might start off with a microloan, and then do another microloan, and then graduate to the next level of Community Advantage, and then they might move on to either commercial enterprise banking, normal banking, or to a 7A or one of our 504 products, which is strictly dealing with real estate.
Right. Now, in the case of a company that's not a startup, with a lot of experience, should they go 7A or should they go Community Advantage?
You know, that is another one where it depends. Let's say you've been existing for quite some time and you came across a hardship and you maybe had a little blip in credit or something, and right now banks might not be enamored with you. This is a perfect opportunity for you to sit down and work with us, and we'll talk through. Again, maybe you encountered something out there that you just didn't know how to handle, and it caused you to have a downturn. Again, these mission lenders will be there to help you turn that around. So, you know, I would like to think that you could always go to them, but there are times where it is more prudent for you to go to, you know, one of our 7A partners. But again, depending upon your situation, it varies. No two businesses are exactly the same.
How about where you're not having any problems and you want to expand in growth capital? Do you go Community Advantage? Do
You absolutely can. Community Advantage has working capital funds available,
Right.
up to $250,000. If that works into your business plan and the level of your growth, that's great.
What's the advice you have for somebody seeking a Community Advantage? What should they have their ducks in a row before they go in? And what will they be asked they should know ahead of time that they've got to kind of get that in place?
And one of my mentors said, every business starts with the same thing, a number 2 pencil. So it'd be really great for you to write down what business plan you want to do, and what you think and how you think the business is going to run. Now, compare that to reality. It might be a little bit different when you sit down and start talking to the mission lender, but at least have a plan. Have an idea of your finances and what you have. It would be good for you to know your credit score. It'd be good to know what assets you have available to put in there, what expenses you have. So all that is can be a complicated plan depending upon the complexity of the business you want to own.
With a Community Advantage loan, are there things like collateral assets that have to be pledged or personal guarantees?
Yes, yes. Depending upon the structure and the complexity of your loan and the equity ratio of the venture, you may have to put in the guarantees and pledge collateral. Absolutely. Going to the other spectrum in microlending, that may not be a requirement. They have worked with people with no collateral at all.
Okay, interesting. Any final points you want to raise before we go to the other gentleman?
I think the very first step after you get your plan is take advantage of all of the free education that's out there. I know that Ms. Carson was here a few weeks ago on your show and talked about a lot of the educational programs that she's doing in her office for veterans, and it doesn't end there. The SBA has an endless resource of educational products. We even do surety bonding. I know a lot of veterans are in construction, and that is a fantastic program. So if you've had problems getting a surety bond, SBA.gov, surety bonds.
And for the layman out there, what's a surety bond? Is it just related to construction?
Generally, and I'm a layman on it as well, but generally they've used it in construction for what they're doing or a project that requires some degree of security. But I've seen it generally used for the construction trade. But again, if you reach out to the surety bond division at the SBA.gov website, they'll be happy to very quickly answer any of your questions and get you squared away and get you going. And take advantage again of everything at SBA.gov, and that'll lead you very often to some of our mission lenders. They too have online courses, webinars, videos. You can't have enough education and keep learning to help your business succeed.
Okay, and I forgot to ask you about this, but this is an interesting thing about the Community Advantage office. Your background is a businessman before the SBA.
You know, we're a rather small office within SBA, but what is very unique, this is really my first W-2 paying gig. I was self-employed my entire life. My boss, he came from owning a business. A lot of our support staff within there came from industry, and one way or the other were either entrepreneurial-like, they were commissioned, or on a contract like a little mini business. So they can very much relate. So when we work with our program and we work with our rules and our regulations and we work with our partners and intermediaries, we know. We've walked in those shoes and we understand what you're going to have to go through.
Excellent. And one more time on the web, it's SBA.gov, and where do you get to go to Community Advantage? Is it there on the front page?
They'll have that little search icon. You can type in Community Advantage. There'll be some information there.
Okay.
But really, if you're looking for capital, start with Lender Match. We're trying to make it simple for you. Come in, answer the questions, and that'll gauge where you are in the process and try to save you some time and get you engaged at the right level for you, because we don't want to take you all the way back to zero.
Right.
And I don't want to make it feel like we're talking down to you, but we need to somewhere scale where you are so that our partners can assist you. So it's there, and as well as lots of educational resources, calculators, apps, and things you can download to help facilitate. But we're always there. Feel free to ask a question. We'll be there to help.
Excellent. Fascinating to hear about your office.